All right. Hey, everyone, and welcome back to Be a Warrior podcast. I am so grateful that you are here and happy Wednesday. As you can see, I'm actually set up a little different than normal. We're going to try this. I pray that my dogs are good. We have the painters on the outside of the house and literally working right outside my window again. So last week, if you watched, I was actually in my car and it was the most uncomfortable situation I've ever set myself in for that long. So we are not doing that. We're going to go with quieting myself down and using a microphone, hopefully only to pick up my voice and not them. So that being said, I wanted to go into a topic that happens a lot for us amputees, and that's facing setbacks and what that actually means, what that looks like, and how you face them. And so what better way than to use my own experience? I am in the middle of one right now just because my lower back has been hurting for a week. I had all these hopes and dreams to get in the best shape of my life prior to my June 23 vision surgery out in Boston. And I couldn't get to the gym half the last week, and I'm not going today. We are starting to get on the mends, so that's good, but still don't want to end up retweaking the lower back. If you've ever had any back issues, you understand that it is incapacitating. So as an amputee, one thing that needs to be made clear is the fact that a lot of people believe that going through the surgery, going through being an amputee, like becoming one, waking up in the hospital is the hardest part of the day and of the journey. And it is not. What most people don't realize is that it's just the beginning. So if we've had people that have reached out and asked me like, so I'm really struggling right now with the knee I have, would amputation be a better route? That's a tough question to answer, right? Because everyone's journey is so different. Just in life, everyone's journey is different. And knee replacement for one is great for one person, but not another. And amputation might be great for one, but really a struggle for another. And while we do have so many more resources available to us as amputees, better PTs, better prosthetists, better prosthesis that are coming out every month, and there's always somebody out on the edges. Like I was interviewing all those college students, those PhD students. We have so many great ideas coming out of our universities right now that are going to be coming to fruition and out to the public venues really, really soon. I mean, in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see a boom of products and things to help deal with phantom pain and fitting and being able to be more active as an athlete and getting back into shape for amputees than there probably has ever been. It's just absolutely incredible. So while that is in place, yes, in a general setting, being an amputee these days is so much better than it was 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. But the problem is with healing and fortitude and character and all those things that are you willing to fight for? I was very, very grateful because my guys at the Limb Center let me know, because I went and talked to them prior to amputation, that they suspect the first 2 to 3 years would be the hardest for me because there's so many changes in the body. When we get amputated, obviously, first and foremost, we have swelling, right? So the incision area and the brunt force of cutting bone off and having to restitch muscle makes you swell for weeks, and if not months, while the stitching is getting healed. When the sutures come out, that does not mean that everything is simple and ready to go. You still have swelling. You still have to deal with that. So your first socket you put on is based on where you're at that part of the stages in the journey. But then you start to atrophy as well. And if you were lucky enough that you're able to put on a leg and actually start moving in it, and fear doesn't hold you back, or not having PT so that someone can help you and assist you in the proper gait mechanics, if you get moving, you will then also start shedding some weight. For a lot of us, like women especially, that have sat around, and I say this from a women's perspective, but I know there are men as well, but I was laid up for 5 years and I had gained almost 60 pounds of extra weight because I couldn't be as active as I was when I hurt myself in Taekwondo. And with that being said, as soon as I started moving, the weight started to just melt off. And that included also the residual limb, correct? So here I am, swelling, then losing weight, then atrophying. I mean, your volume change is so just crazy for the first couple of years. And it just depends on how long it takes you to really kickstart that metabolism and that burn. So for some people, I see them still going through socket changes even 5 years down the road because they stopped using their leg like they should have. They might gain weight. Then they start getting back into it, and then they start to lose weight. So weight is a huge factor in all this. And as we get older, right, our metabolism starts to slow down. And, there's a chance that I might gain weight in the next 10 years, 15 years. Well, then that adjusts my socket size. And even so, I had my last socket for a year and a half without a change. That was the biggest length of time I'd gone without a change in the 6 years. And I had to change it all of a sudden because I had some issues down there, which would be one of the reasons why I'm going to Boston for this revision surgery, because there is an issue in my femur. I'll save that for tomorrow. If you come on Instagram Live on today, actually, when you hear this podcast, I'll be on Instagram Live at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, talking a little bit with Dr. Jackie Garcia about what I'm going to be going through. But that's for another time. So you have those changes, and those are setbacks. Even though you had the surgery, let's say for me, got rid of the bum knee, and that was a huge setback for 5 years, I wasn't ready to push forward yet because I was healing. I was struggling with that. I was dealing with building muscle, because putting on a leg after a couple months, like 3 months of not having that excess weight with the knee, calf, and foot, made my muscles not have to work as hard, right? They didn't have to pull through a leg and work. So then you put this on and it feels like it's a lot heavier than it really is because your muscles are weak. So then you build up the muscle. So you have setbacks. Now, go forward. And I realize that as I get older, some of the things that happen to our bodies, like getting out of bed, takes a little bit longer in the morning, and things feel a little bit more sore from doing not much of anything. But maybe if I walk around my kitchen all day barefoot, I will feel it in my hips, and getting out of bed can be very hard. But what's really sucky is the fact that one of the things that we discuss a lot as amputees in the amputee world is protecting the sound limb. So my good leg, my right leg, my ankle, my knee, my hip, and even the hip on my residual limb, those are really important joints for us to protect. And quite frankly, when I hurt my back, I can usually attribute it to overdoing something with my prosthesis. So I even noticed like the last week with my back hurting, just bending over to get my dog's dishes to feed them at night and in the morning, I put all my weight on my good leg and I bend over, and it's all the stress on my residual limb side, hip, and back. Those sitting there and having all that weight going forward, I am tightening those back muscles. So that is the side that's hurting. And that is the side that I've been struggling to get back, but I won't not use my leg. So every time I put my leg on, I'm having then to thrust that through, and it's just tweaking that back and that hip area, which just causes it to hurt more. I have to say, knock on wood, I'm getting through the hardest part of that. I can feel a sense of coming off that bad ledge of really bad pain, but I'm not back at the gym yet. And so this is a huge setback for what my goals were. And I have just less than 3 weeks and I'll be having surgery. And I wanted to make sure that I was spending my time wisely and getting in the best shape possible so that I can rebound better, faster, stronger. So there will be a setback too when I have the surgery, right? I won't be able to be in my leg for 4 weeks, which then means my muscles are going to get a little more relaxed and less, and I'm going to have to work through that again. And this is my first revision surgery. However, I did have TMR a year after getting used to my leg, and I bounced back pretty quick, but I'll tell you the flesh was very painful because I am a skin fit, and putting soft flesh in there and having it stick to the inside, getting it off in the morning or in the evenings was so painful because it would just stick and pull where the incisions were still fresh. So those setbacks are there, and we face them all the time. As amputees, the littlest thing can set us off. Like, I really have no idea what set off my back problem, but I can tell you that continuing to do what I did not help. But there was not much that could help it. If you've had lower back pain, you understand what I'm talking about. Getting out of bed was sore. I couldn't even pick up my right leg to put my sock and my shoe on. I would literally have to take my hand with my sock down to the ground and keep my other hand on my leg to keep my back from having to work and pull my sock on with one hand while I supported my back with my other. And then just all that. I mean, it's hard. Even putting my leg on and bending over and pulling my socket on was really, really hard. It still hurts today, but not as bad, thank goodness. Now, why do we talk about facing setbacks? And how do we face them? Well, number one, you have two mentalities. It's cave to them and sit back and let things heal. And that is something you have to know your body well enough for. And two, push forward, push through, push hard. And that's more my mentality. Yes, I did not push through as hard as I would normally have because I know what this could do to me. So I didn't push through and go to the gym. I didn't do it that way. But I did push through getting my leg on and using my leg every day still. I didn't take it off. I did not want to just walk around in crutches. I wanted to make sure that I stayed in top form with my walking and my gait and keeping my muscles as tuned in as possible with my leg, considering it's going to be off here in a few weeks anyways. So yes, I pushed through, but I didn't get stupid. Like, I didn't push myself to the point of almost disrepair where I'd be laid up. Like, I don't want to be laid out in bed. So yes, I sat around a little bit more this weekend, enjoyed downtime Saturday, Sunday, Monday, enjoyed being at peace in my home, resting with my dogs by my side, things like that. But some of you know your bodies, and depending on your age and how you rebound, you need to know if you need to keep it off. You need to know if you need to lay back and stretch out your back and stretch out your hips. Those are things you have to know about yourself. But I will tell you, getting through something takes some fierce determination, and dealing with pain again, which amputees, we deal with pain a lot. I mean, daily for me, I can feel my foot right now is just zinging me, and it's not even there. I'm not talking about my real foot. I'm talking about the fake foot that's not there. My phantom sensations are heightened right now. At night, I'm burning when I go to bed. And it's because my muscles are kind of out of whack and everything. But when we face our setbacks, we are pushing ourselves forward for some great setups. So I might not be doing great right now, but it could be my body's way of telling me to slow down for a minute, take a step back, and push forward when we're ready. Because like anything, we learn, right? Learning has a learning curve. There's a time when you're doing really well, and as you start to learn something new, you get set back, you fail, you have attempts at things that you fail at, but those failures are what actually give you the best life lessons. So as I've been sitting and laid up this last 5, 6, 7 days, I've been able to reflect more on what's really important right now is getting all my ducks in a row for heading out to Boston. It is connecting with my friends and my family a little bit more on a deeper level, reuniting with them, getting together, having coffee or lunch. It is spending valuable time with my dogs because my dogs are my babies, and leaving them for 2 weeks is going to be really tough. And they were going to go with us. We were going to stay a month, but with my Chihuahua might get broken. She just doesn't travel well by car long distances into foreign places. Like we took her last summer out to Durango, and she was a train wreck. Like nervous Nelly, wouldn't eat, was throwing up. It was almost an emergency visit to the vet. And we thought, God, getting on her a 5-hour plane flight and she's never flown, this could be detrimental to everybody. And I'm not going to be worth anything while I'm laid up in surgery. So my husband would have to deal with it. And they're really my little girls. So she would be struggling with that. So being away from them means I should right now spend as much time with them as I can. I want to also go and connect with my horses. And that is something I can do. It's low impact. It does still impact my back because walking with my boots and on uneven ground can be very hard. But being with my horse actually calms me down, refreshes me, reminds me of where I'm at and being present, working on my breathing, slowing down the stress levels in my body. And, I can't tell you that I'm going into Boston surgery unstressed. There is some stress. There is some what ifs, and I'm trying not to think of them. And I'm trying to manifest positive thoughts and positive outcomes, and can't wait for this to be done so I can really show myself what I can do and show this doctor what can be done with what his procedure is. But that doesn't mean that I'm not hiding that inside and kind of suppressing it and pushing it down. And my horse is really good at uncovering that stuff and calling me out. And so when I go and hang with her and the other horses, I get a chance to just be me, raw and real. And if it ends up coming to tears, sometimes that does, and that is a beautiful thing. And I wished everybody could have that opportunity to be around horses, because that's something that's very new to me as an amputee. That's when it started for me, and it has been extremely beneficial and healing. So when you come to facing your setbacks, there's some things that you need to do. And let's call this the call to action this week. Are you in a setback right now? And if so, first determine what is the setback? What is it keeping you from? Where do you want to still go when you get through it? So for me, I want to be in really good form. The setback right now is I can't get out, and it's too hot now, getting too hot to hike. We've had too many deaths on hiking trails out here in Arizona, and we're not even in the hundreds yet. But it's happening, and it's a little frightening, and I know my husband gets worried about me, even though I never go alone. I can't get to the gym right now, so that's that. But I've chosen to focus on what I can focus on, and that is my eating habits and not drinking. Like I'm trying to cleanse my body of any alcohol, even though I'm like a wine girl or maybe a cocktail here and there, cutting that out, because those are the things I can do while I'm in a physical setback. I can actually eat better, eat healthy, and get on a routine of cleaning my body out for the next 3 weeks. And even if that's all I can do for the next 3 weeks, that will make a huge difference in my bouncing back on my setups after surgery. So the goal is to be able to bounce back better. So if I'm in a setback right now, and for mine, it is a physical one, I am really struggling with movement. Even getting into my car is hard. So the challenge is, remember what your goal is. So for me, it is to be in my best form for the surgery so I can come out of the surgery strong. Okay, get rid of the junk food, get rid of the alcohol and excess sugars. Try to eat clean, try to eat more protein. Getting the things that are going to fuel my body, whether or not I can get to the gym right now, or whether or not I can hike right now. So I have to have my goal. So during a setback, it is your body telling you it's time to reassess where you're at, Find out what your whys are. What are you doing it for? And then setting yourself up for what's going to come, because we all should know by now when we have this kind of a setback, like a bad back or an injury, it is limited time. It isn't going to be forever. You're not going to have a bad back for the next 40 years. You might have issues with your back here and there, but this stint that I'm in isn't going to last forever. It won't even last for the rest of this week, I bet, because I'm almost out of it. I wouldn't be sitting here on this hard chair if my back was hurting like it was last week. So set yourself up to keep focused on what your goal is. When you are set back, it gives you a chance to thirst for something and want to reach something, because you're being held back from what you want to do. So find out what it is you want to do, why you want to do it. Because when our why is in place, we have a much better way to motivate ourselves and stay on task. So my why is to be stronger after the surgery, to prove this surgeon and MIT and everybody that's involved that their surgery, their procedure is epic, and what it can do for me to build muscle after it. So I want to be in top form so I can get right back to the gym and jump in right where I left off. That is the goal. My why is my family. I'm going to go through this, and things can happen. Healing can take longer than they expect, but I'm going to stay focused on the positive, that I'm going to heal in the 4 weeks. I'm going to get my leg, I'm going to get my new socket, get it on, and get moving. And I'm going to start manifesting my own positivity by my mind. My mind is powerful. Remember that. What you tell yourself and what you bring to the table is a mind over matter. So whether you believe in faith, like I'm a Christian, I believe that God has me and he's going to protect me. I'm also going to manifest in my mind what it is I want to achieve, and I'm going to visualize me achieving that. And when I visualize all the positives, all the good things that are going to come from it, then I am setting myself up for the next shove forward, and I'm going to be launching myself into a better future. That is where you need to be. So the challenge for this week, the call to action, is if you are set back right now, don't sit and worry about it. It's not going to help you. Actually, worrying about it and thinking about it, or trying to take like pain meds for it, only just keeps you in that little dark clouded area. What you want to do is break free from that and start looking at the future. What is this allowing you to do? I don't sit still long enough. So this allowed me this last 4 or 5 days to hang with my dogs. I actually started pre-cooking some things, so I had meal preps. I started researching better things for eating while I'm waiting for the surgery. It gave me the time that I normally don't sit and do, because I normally am go, 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 go. So this setback is opening doors somewhere else for you right now. What does it look like for you? Then I want you to remember what your goals are and start listing what the goals are. When I'm through this back pain, here's what I want to do. The first sign of me being able to do this, I'm going to hit this, this, and this. If you are struggling with that, remember your whys. Maybe it's your family, maybe it's your dogs, maybe it's your mental health, maybe it's your job, a relationship, whatever it is. Remember what your why is, because your why is what's going to pull you through when it's hard, when it's dark, and when you feel alone. So remember to have a why on what you're doing and why you're doing it. And then be patient. Find things you can do that help you get towards your goal, even if it's writing things down and journaling. Just keep moving forward day by day, and know that this will end, and then you are going to be launched into greatness afterwards, because you had a plan, you manifested good thoughts, you visualized yourself succeeding, and then it comes to fruition after the setback. So I hope this helps you. Like I said, this setback for me, it's hard. I hate when my back hurts. As you probably know, you've probably been through back pain. It is a horrible, horrible thing to go through. It affects every aspect of life. Getting in and out of the shower, getting ready in the morning, getting out of bed, standing in the kitchen, cooking meals. And for me, getting in and out of my car was so painful because I have to jump up. Mine's lifted. And it's just a part of every aspect you do. So I understand how hard it is, but you can do this. You can get through this. You are warriors. This is why we want to unleash our warrior. How do we do it? Sometimes it's in the quiet. Sometimes it's in the planning. Sometimes it's in our mind and in our visualization. Sometimes we can't be the physical warrior, but we sure can be a mental warrior. So unleash that warrior within you this week. Don't let a setback determine your mood or what you think is going to happen for the rest of your life. This is only temporary, and your setback is setting you up for something better. So get after it. Don't lose hope and keep pushing forward. I hope you had a great long weekend with your family and friends, a safe one. I hope this week brings you nothing but great joy. And as always, be healthy, be happy, be you.